in the starting 15, 2 from Edinburgh, 2 playing their trade in the top 14 and
la
1
City Round
in the
Pipe
Aviva
Band
Premiership.
la banda delle...
No Michel Rizzo, of course, for Italy. He's suspended, so Matías Aguero takes his place in the bench. Johnny Gray misses out altogether for Scotland, with Swinson providing the cover at lock. We are just about set to go. The referee for this one, well, Australian plying his trade, but a New Zealander originally, Steve Walsh, his 12th Six Nations game in charge. Jérôme Garcés from France and Luke Pearce from England are the assistant referees, and our television match official from England is Jeff Warren. We have a beautiful afternoon for a game, Doddy, and we're hopeful we might get a few tries.
Hugh, can't get any better than this, as you mentioned before. Lovely sunshine. I think this is what both teams want. Certainly the Scotland pack would like to run it. They've got some strike runners with Stuart Hogg. We've shown a bit in the Six Nations so far, but on the back of that there's some exciting Italian players there that we're looking forward to see. Conditions are absolutely perfect, and with any luck Scotland might even score a try.
Well, can they break the tradition of the championship so far? Only 6 points to their name, which is pretty incredible, as the first line out on that far side. You can see the sun as well and covering a lot of the pitch. I wonder will that influence players under the high ball. Gonzalo Garcia there, I said this before, he's probably the only red-headed Italian international you ever see. I know you, me and you are aside, but the Celts I think have more tradition with the old flame hair than the Italians have. But he's wearing a scrum cap today, the inside centre, and we're going to have our first scrum. Now this should be interesting. Ryan Grant, Scotty Lawson and Murray Lowe against Demarchi, Geraldini and Castrogiovanni.
There's a lot of interesting tussles this afternoon. Front row you've mentioned, back row, middle row even as well. The Scotland have brought in Richie Gray to be against the Italians, who are all quite tall. 2 metres and 2 metres 3 the Italians are coming in against 203 for Jim Hamilton, and Richie Gray there's 207, so that's going to be a battle, but this is going to be a real battle up front here.
It looks pretty solid. The first one has come up though. Geraldini the first to pop up, and Castrogiovanni. Steve Walsh wants to reset and we'll put it in again for the Italians. I think Walsh, well, he's had his shall we say wild spots as a referee, but he's back now. Last couple of years has made a big impressions, particularly when he came back to the Super Rugby tournament as well.
He's a good selection for the referee today, Steve Walsh, because you can see the way they play down Australia. They want running rugby, and I think the players want that to happen as well. They don't like the rain, they don't like the slow pitch that's happening maybe at Murrayfield, and also the crowd want to see that as well, and it's quite amazing to see so many Scots here. I think they must have booked a ticket before the England match.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Rome always one of the favourite trips though on the Six Nations calendar, no matter which team comes here. Penalty, first one goes against Scotland, and it's against the tight head Murray Lowe. Binding off the arm, says Steve Walsh, so first call and first blood, if you like, goes to Italy.
It's an area that Scotland have to watch. They can't allow any sort of ill discipline to come in. They can't allow any sort of silly penalties now. By all accounts, the arm was in the wrong place. It's very difficult to see that. I think they've got to bind up on the shirt. It actually doesn't look too much wrong with that one, but anyway, as it's been called by the referee, penalty against, which takes the pressure away from the Italians.
Thank you.
7 times they've met in Rome since 2000. Italy have won 5, Scotland just twice. Well, Scotland hammered the Italians 34-10, as you probably saw in the highlights just before he came over to us at Murrayfield last year.
But I think on that, Hugh, things are going to change, because the talisman Parisi didn't play that way, and I think the whole of the Italian team work round that man, and if he plays at his top game, which he's done so often, the whole team follow that, and last year he wasn't playing. I think that's why the score was what it was.
Well, the first line-out goes to Scotland, and you mentioned the 2 big guys, Richie Gay and Jim Hamilton. They got up pretty well there, and the penalty as a result, so I mean that'll be a huge confidence boost to the Scottish line-out, which I suppose Ross Ford took a lot of the blame for the throwing and I suppose the calls over the last couple of games. They brought in Scott Lawson and are hoping that his accuracy pays off today.
Well, yeah, they do, and it was Jim Hamilton actually I think has been involved in picking the lineouts, and that's why they say he stayed in the team, because he's got a wee bit issue to give away penalties. But this is where, let's see who gets a hold of this one here.
Hamilton.
There we go. That's good lifting, and it's good teamwork. As I said before, it's not just the hooker that throws the ball in, it's the lifters, it's the jumpers who've got to get in there, and that was quite a good steal from there, because the Italians' lineouts have been very strong.
Well, here is Lawson, and the first one goes to plan. So far the Scottish lineout impressive in the early stages. Possession now to try and work. Here is Weir, little floating pass on the outside. It's not a bad one, taken up by Seymour. Well, he's kicked it through, it's kicked it too far. Was that the right decision, Doddy?
No. We see this all too often. It's the first time they've been in Italians' half, first time the pressure, they're going on, why not recycle it? Why always kick this ball away? As you can see the pressure on, they're on the front foot, great interlinking there by Weir and Beattie. Yeah, Seymour, just bring it inside, set it up and try and put it in. Now he's let the pressure go. I just don't understand that tactic, and I think they do that all too often.
It's unlike him as well, because he doesn't do that a lot for Glasgow. Himself and Deet van der Merwe, they keep it in hand almost all the time, and they love to have a go. So maybe just desperate to please and desperate to banish the last two games.
Let's hope they don't do it again then, because it didn't work there, and let's hope they understand it's not a work in progress. Let's keep the pressure on Italians, and when you do that and put phase rugby into any sort of game, you generally come away with points, and that's what Scotland need at the moment.
7th cap today for Tommy Seymour, so not a huge amount of experience, but he certainly deserves his place on merit. Of course, no Tim Visser as well. Sean Lamont switched to the wing for this one to allow Matt Scott to return. If you're missing someone like Tim Visser, it's a huge strike rate to take out of the team. The penalty goes to the Italians again. So the line out, Scotland, the scrums to Italy.
Yeah, I think we could see the sort of pressure coming through, and DeMarquis,
look at the pitch,
Castro Giovanni as well.
That is incredible. It's rolled right up there where the front rows were.
That's just the sort of pressure these boys are under. They don't get the hit anymore, but they still put each other under the intense sort of pressure, and that caused the Scotland scrum, who are a bit slighter in weight, to pop up, and resulting in a penalty.
First kick for Tommy Tommaso Allen. One that got away for Scotland, do you think?
Well, I think so. We're struggling with standoff. We've gone through a number of standoff in the last 3 or 4 years, and we could do with young kids coming through. And as mentioned in the pre-programme, the future of Scottish rugby isn't a bit struggling because numbers are not there. So yes, we need to keep as many players as possible, because last night in the under-20s, Italy won 32 points to 13. So it just shows that the future's not that clever, but hopefully things can change today in the senior team.
Kick through was from Laidlaw, another line out by the way that went against the Italian throw, so far so good for the Scottish line out. McLean puts that left boot, and it's a brilliant kick by the full-back. Oh, that's fantastic.
That is an absolute stormer of a kick. That's what forwards want to see, with your back three all playing for the same team, able to work with each other. They knew they had a bit of time there, and that's an absolute fantastic clearance there, that from your own 22, basically near enough into the Scotland 22. Well done.
Well, lost him the throw. So far he's 1 from 1 in his own throw, and Italy yet to win a line out despite having 2. He's picked for his accuracy. What he doesn't give you in terms of go forward momentum and carries that Ross Ford did at 18 stone, he gives you in terms of his throwing ability. That's why he's there. And Scott Johnson, I think, just the patience growing a bit thin with the set piece failures over the last couple of games. Spiral kick over the head, is that one just as good? McLean going back for it, just about keeps that in play, but a really good kick nonetheless. And Garcia, he smashes the boot at it and brings play up towards the halfway line. So, I mean, look, early stages yet, but both teams feeling each other out at the moment.
Very much. Again, getting a programme, set pieces where it's going to count. It's not been as controlled as Italy would like, but that was another good nudge right down the line. But look, McLean is playing well here at the moment, kept it in, but not only just did he keep it in though, you could have maybe thought he was going to try and kick because of what we've just seen in the time before, but he had time to throw it into the middle of the field to have a better angle to try and get it further down the line.
Ball off the top again, and it's perfect ball for Laidlaw to use and get that something going through the middle here. Johnny Beattie has to carry. Did that go forward? Steve Walsh's hand stays down, so no is the answer. And there on the blind side for Weir to try and work something. Up the middle comes Matt Scott, Edinburgh centre. Back in the team today. Laidlaw once more. Pressure in the back row, and Fusaro there, you see he's not the biggest of back row forwards, but there's the block down kick. And Italy coming through the centre. Tommaso Allen. A little bit slow there, Scotland, to swing that boot back towards Scott. Little dink for the corner, we're spotted the space. But the Italians, well, they're all over the place at the moment. Just see Esposito took his eye off that.
Release.
An advantage to Scotland. Laidlaw going to spread this ball. Weir fires it out again. A dangerous run up the middle there from Garcia. Puts the tackle in on Wilson. And now Parise. Laidlaw. Lawson on a dummy run. Lamont. Still going, Sean Lamont. He's a big boy, 6'2" and 16.5 stone. And he likes to play in the wing. Hamilton. Tackled by his option number Josh Furno. And there for Laidlaw, Lawson. It's Parise leading the charge. Trying to get turnover ball, but Scotland do well to recycle it. No way through, that was a knock-on. And, well, Scotland, full of invention, just not breaking too many tackles.
Hugh, this is the sort of thing that let them down against England. They're into the game, they're going forward, they're coming through, they've got strike runners, they're taking it on, but once they get away from second and third phase, they tend to lose their rhythm. Scott Lawson, you saw, took it on at standstill. Parisi, well done, he was up there. The Italian forwards are in on that ball. Zini was right in on that, and that's what you expect. And it happens. They should have the mentality after 3 or 4 phases of what they're going to do. And evident there that Jim Hamilton standing still, ball should have been in front of him, knock on. And this is an area where another wee issue is, I think, the captaincy. Parisi, very strong. He's got some great talisman round about him as well that have been round a long time. Scotland don't have that sort of individual at the moment. Greg Laidlaw's leading the side, but he doesn't have that sort, I don't think, motivation. So we hopefully, senior players like Richie Gray can stand up and say this is what we need to try and get into this game.
What about Richie Gray? I mean, he was so talented, so much was made of him when he was at Glasgow. He was offered that huge figure to stay in Scotland. He chose to go to Sale, and ever since then it's been downhill for him.
Well, it's maybe trying to find out what the true Richie Gray is all about. He needs to be motivated in some way, and maybe playing the English Leagues wasn't correct for him. It could have been the coaching setup as well. Now going to France, he maybe enjoys because it's good weather.
Absolutely, yeah. And he seems to be coming back to some of his best form. The 24-year-old still very, very young, but he's been around for quite a while. Of course, that try, his only test try in Dublin against Ireland a couple of years back. Again, the penalty goes against Scotland, and it is literally splitting the set pieces. They're dominating the line, and they cannot win a scrum.
Yeah, just trying to see if we can hear the referee's mic on that, because sometimes when you have a look at the scrums and penalties, you think it's a lottery that they give each other alternate because the referees don't understand what's going on. But at the moment, the Italians have got a very strong scrum, as we knew that they would do with the power that they have in the front row, and it's certainly been dominant just now.
Just watching Sergio Parise as well while McLean was getting ready to kick there. Had a word with his pack. He obviously wants to get this line out. They have to sort their line out. There's no point getting all these penalties, kicking for touch and losing ball.
See, looking at the footage there, Hugh, it's difficult to say why the penalty was against Scotland, because it looked like the pitch maybe gave way. We didn't see that in footage. A bit disappointed, but nevertheless, Italian penalty.
And Alessandro Zani, well, he's the go-to man when things go wrong. Himself and Parise in that line out. It's not the 2 second rows that they use, but about time they won a line out. Ball to use now. Garcia bounces off one tackle on the inside centre, sets it up for a scrum half. It's slow though for Gorey. Castrogiovanni to Furno, spins out of one, bursts through 2, and he's at the 22-metre line. Better from Italy, and Scotland having to defend really for the first time in the game. Held in heights. Back for Gorey. Here's Allen, ships it on. Parise first to it, leaves it though, and ball in behind for McLean. Well, we know he's good in any kind of space. Difficult to stop Luke McLean. Gorey, and this is better from the Italians now. Giraldini drops the shoulder into the contact. Wilson got a kick in the head for his troubles as well. Penalty advantage is to the Italians. Castrogiovanni. Back for Gorey. Still they come, battering the Scottish defensive line, and they're only 5 metres short. Here's McLean, runners again. Better from Scotland, taken up by Sarto. It's gone loose. Gorey picks it up. Back towards Giraldini, the pop pass. Barbieri couldn't hold it, will go back for the penalty. The crowd are screaming, but it won't be given. We will go back for the penalty, but it is very good attacking play from Italy.
You can see the difference in Cow. That's the first time they've all got off their feet, just the way the stage of play there. That's exciting. That's how to play the game of rugby. Professional, keep the ball, pass the ball, and be on there, on hand there. Good support work, and don't panic. We never saw any kicking the ball away, and look what might happen. That's gone into maybe 6th or 7th or 8th or 10th phase. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Resulted in points. But Scotland missed a number of tackles there. There's 2-on-1 man there, which they can't afford to do. That's what we saw right at the end there, just that knock on, which didn't allow the try, but it's come back for advantage, and it's a penalty to Italy.
Well, it's the hallmark of Jacques Brunel, isn't he? He doesn't want his teams to kick unnecessarily. He'd rather take the ball, go to ground, or give that little pass than kick it away. Now this guy, neither goal kickers, Scotland or Italy, have covered themselves in glory so far, but he's only 50% in the Six Nations. 3 from 6, Tommaso Allen. It's on his favourite side. There is no win. It's a beautiful day for place kickers, and at this level, despite his inexperience, it should be 3 points. Got a decent strike on it, crowd like it, touch judges like it, 3 points to nil, Italy lead.
Everyone likes it apart from the Scottish supporters, but that was deserved. And Scotland are going to concern themselves now, and the captain should be having a look at, we need to get involved here. The Italians, that was the first time I think they've been in the Scotland 22 from the start of the game. That's some 14 minutes. Great phase play, great support, taking the ball on in speed. Very simple game when you do it well, Hugh.
As I say, most of the play has been in the Italian half, even around the centre of the field, but most of the possession has been with Scotland. Italy come in, one attack of real intent, and they leave with 3 points.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Points make prizes, and at the moment, Scotland have none. Italy have 3.
Not a good kick from Gorey, didn't get quite the distance on it. Tommy Seymour went up for it, went backwards from him. Johnny Beattie looking for a bit of help there. He's got Castrogiovanni hanging onto his backside though, and he'll do well just to get this back.
You can just see on that ruck and maul, it takes one Italian, but there's 3 or 4 Scots into that to try and win that ball. They can't allow that to happen because it'll leave spaces elsewhere.
Look at the blitz defence as well from Garcia, giving the Scottish backs no time whatsoever. Duncan Weir as well under all sorts of pressure there. But it was Garcia who broke the line, spotted the weakness and made the tackle. And so far, for all of Scotland's possession, they failed to break through on a couple of occasions. Well, one man who certainly can is Hogg, but it's gone forward from him. Advantages to Italy. We'll go back for the scrum. But Stuart Hogg into that game. We haven't seen too much of him with ball in hand, but he just couldn't hang on to it there.
They couldn't. I think this is what Scotland are trying to do. They're trying to force the game at the moment. Great defence by the Italians. They're up there, they're quick, they're making Scotland make a mistake. But Stuart Hogg took it up, it caused the issue, he got behind the Italians. All he needed to do was go to deck and recycle it. He tried to pass it out the tackle, hence knocking the ball on. And we just can't afford these silly little mistakes, the Scots. The Italian, they're doing very, here we go here, taking the ball up, one hand, oh, a bit of elbow there. One hand is getting ripped out at the same time. Duncan Weir, and who's taking this up there? It's the same shot again, going up there. He got away with that one actually because the ball did go back. We'll see here it's Stuart Hogg there, very quick on his feet, got past the first tackler and actually got a hat out his hand, and well done by Parisi. I take that back.
Well, so far Scotland's struggling to get in behind that Italian defence. Steve Walsh has been talking to the front rows, Demarchi and Murray Lowe, about the bind. We saw Alain Roland last night for Wales and France sending off the 2 props that he considered would be responsible for most of the collapsed scrum. So Steve Walsh, I'm sure, will have no hesitation if things don't pick up in the front row.
It's an area that needs a lot of looking at, I have to admit. It's a lot of people are talking about the time in scrums, but the talk that he's had with them seems to be helping.
That's a better scrum from both teams. Saw the ball at the back, controlled by Parisi. Gorey to Tommaso Allen. Garcia, well, he took that deep, but again, the blitz defence, this time from Scotland, and had the desired effect. Italy with no time to use that ball. Allen, that's all they could do. It's not a bad kick as well, brings play all the way inside the Scottish 22. Stewie Hogg, right-footed kick, big spiral as well, as he found touch. That's a monster. Absolute monster of a kick from Stuart Hogg.
That was impressive. I thought he might have passed to Sean Lamont to get a better angle. Didn't need that. That's an absolute boot and a half. Again, it gives a bit of confidence. You can hear what the Italian public and supporters are thinking of that.
I think it didn't go out. We'll see the bounce here. It was pretty, no, it definitely went out.
Yep, definitely went out. We'll see it again. There we go. Even if it hit the line, it's classed as out, so no problem with that. Which, again, superb kick puts the sort of attacking onus on Scotland.
And when the line-out's been working as well as it has for Scotland, they might fancy their chances of robbing possession here. Demarchi and Giraldini having a chat. In comes Geldenhuis into that line-out. Parisi as well as a jumper. Richie Gray went up early, but it's Josh Furnham. And that's much better now. Last couple have gone the Italian way, as you'd expect on their own throw, and they get the penalty.
Number 6.
It's against Ryan Wilson. In from the side, says Steve Walsh.
In the side.
It's one of the easiest and known facts that you cannot enter the side of a ruck. And this is what lets the Scots down at times. They just came from a line out. You've got to get back behind the door, as they say, is the sort of back behind the last foot, then to enter the ruck. It got pinged there by Ryan Wilson. Again, lets the pressure off the Italians. And Scotland can't afford to do that if they want to get into this game, right?
A few describe Scotland's display against England as the worst performance in Scottish history. Clive Woodward was one of those people. Would you agree with Sir Clive?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people were mentioning that, yes. Both the performance was very disappointing and to score no points as well. So it was a bad day, but let's hope they can put that behind them and score a lot of points.
In other words, you shut up talking about England. We're into the new match, and Garcia tries to burst through almost at the 10-metre line. Pick and go again from the Italians. Options both sides for Gorey, and he uses Zani, and his considerable frame makes a couple of metres there for Giraldini. Loves to carry. He's a little tank of a hooker, the Italian. Back towards Allen. Geldenhuys tackled by Richie Gray. And Italy just patient build up again. They're not afraid to just keep that ball, wait for the gaps to come. Scotland defence has to hold out. Good tackle went in there from Murray Lowe. And it's turnover ball for Scotland, and they're after this one. Sarto has to go back there. Got to be careful here. He's got Campagnaro inside him. It is the outside centre. Well, he's quick, but how quick is he? Oh, just quick enough to get away from Stewie Hogg and Duncan Weir. Furno, well, he's nobody out there. Suicide pass to the big man. Don't think he was expecting that at all. Italy get the scrum, maybe a little bit lucky.
Very lucky there. I don't know if you can see it from a different angle from up here in the stand, but you do think, wow, he did very well to evade the tackle of the Scots there, set it up nicely right in the middle of the field. Then you pass it to the second row.
On his own.
Why would you do that? And just strange things coming in. I don't know if that's the pressure of the game or just the intensity down in the field at the moment. But these sort of little things have to try and step out for anyone to try and take control of this game.
A few of the Italians breathing pretty hard. Sergio Parisse is saying all week that the best way to beat Scotland is the fear of losing. And that's not to say that they aren't confident they're going to win, but he wanted the team to just play on their instincts, use that adrenaline, if you like, and remember that, you know, it's a huge night for him and for Castrogiovanni. That shouldn't be the main motivation, but it certainly is part of what will drive them on today to get a win on their 104th cap and break the record. They don't want to remember it for bad reasons, if you like. Allen, to try and get this one clear, finds the safety of the touchline, and Scotland will have the line out.
That's percentage rugby. That's a nice strong scrum. They've got the set pieces, the Italians again. The front three are doing exceedingly well there. On the open play, Italian back three as well are doing exceedingly well. They just need to try and get it together. And if they keep doing that, you saw what happened when there's about 10 or 12 phases put together, points arrive. And if they can keep doing that, come on at speed, Scotland are going to struggle in this game. And on the other side, Scotland need to do exactly the same as what the Italians are doing to try and get it into the game, but they're having too many mistakes at the moment. But good lineup. Yeah,
another good one. It was Ryan Wilson who went up for that one. Ball at the back there. We are just slowing things down now. Wants a couple of runners. Taken up by Lamont. Tackled by Giraldini, who tries to get his hand on it. Told to leave it. Here's Richie Gray was the dummy runner. Lawson took it in himself. Just over that 10-metre line. Options on the right-hand side now. Weir needs help. Campagnaro tries to put him down. But he struggled to do it the first time, eventually does so. Italy trying to rob possession. You have to leave it for Laidlaw. Wilson. A good game so far, Ryan Wilson. Lawson. Tackled by Castrogiovanni and Dimarchi, the two props for Italy. Is there going to be space now? Scotland trying to keep that ball alive. Hogg ships it on to Lamont. Tackled by Garcia. And the penalty. Off their feet, Italy, and this is very kickable for Greg Laidlaw. Chance to get back level. Sean Lamont, good strength from him. And again, the gaps weren't coming, but they just were patient with ball in hand there.
They're trying, Hugh, they're coming on, they're doing little sneak passes there, but Hogg put it on to, I think, Wilson. They're trying to get through the gap, they're taking the game to them, and it's quite a lot slower when Scots take the ball up compared to the Italians. So to me, they need to just do that quicker ball, the quicker emphasis on that, clear out. They're putting too many men maybe into that ruck and maul, which eliminates the sort of strike runners up. But this again is a very important part. Laidlaw was kicking everything last year, he's been struggling this year, so this is a vital kick for the Scots.
Yeah, his percentage stats aren't great either. 2 from 5. Right-footed strike. He didn't get all of it, but it's on target, and the flags go up. That's all that counts. It's gone over. 3 points apiece, and Scotland are back level.
Yeah, that should give them some confidence. It's giving me some confidence to try and take my money back off you, sir.
Just on the quick ball that Scotland needed. I mean, I suppose Johnny Beattie and Wilson wouldn't be recognised as brilliant players on the ground. Chris Fuster, that's why he's there to do that job. But there's a lot of pressure on him as a result.
He is, but the pressure's on every player, though. He's an out-and-out open side. That's his position. That's why he's in the team. It's the same as you could say that Richie Gray, you saw him with the ball in hand there, that he's got to win the ball on the line out and kick off. So there's pressure on every player. That's why they play at this end, and that's their job, and that's what they've got to do. And if they don't do it, they shouldn't be in the team.
Fair point. Luke McLean, well, he's got loads of space here. Seymour stayed on the outside. I think he was hoping that somebody else would come up in the chase with him, but he allowed Luke McLean to make ground all the way to the halfway line. And this is quick ball for the Italians, trying to burst through Barbieri, and they keep it alive. Lovely hands from Zani. Now for Malum. They ship it to the right. This is Garcia stepping inside. Needs a bit of help. The centre. He's tackled well though by Alex Dunbar, who had to make that hit. Shipped on again. Castrogiovanni decides to go route one and up the middle. Gorey again looks for Allen, ball in behind to Parise, slapped off from McLean, or slapped forward. In fact, it wasn't McLean, it was Leonardo Sarto. You can see what he was trying to do after the pressure from Scotland, but it's a knock on.
It's quite interesting. You might not have noticed that, but when that was put on, you could see Parise, a quick ball here. Just after that was maybe out of camera shot. You can just see on the left Parise actually having a word there to say, yeah, I think, what are you trying to do there?
Yeah.
Sarto, so I think he got it. That's a strong captain. That's what you like to see. That's what I like to see in a captain, that is control, and that's why you are captain of a team. And well done, Parise, there.
Absolutely, and you can do that when the person giving out doesn't make the mistake. Last night, Pascal Papé gave out stink to Hugo Bonival for a pass that he threw that was just incredible, and that kind of summed up France last night. They're just devoid of leadership, application, but at the moment the Italians, you can see everything, as you said earlier, goes through Parise, and he's such an important figure. What are they going to do when he retires?
There's also an issue when I was playing. It was never my fault when I never caught a line-out ball, but in some way it maybe was. Always try and blame someone else, but that's when you get the respect. You get respect of Parise, because if he did the mistake, he would take it on board and sort it out, and he understands the game very well. And great captain, great man to have in the team.
You often wonder, do Argentina look at Parise and say, how did we not snap him up?
That's certainly one you want in your team.
Bind.
Now, so far the Italian scrum has dominated. They get a shove again. Look at that. Look at that. You know what? Scotland's scrum coach is an Italian, Massimo Cucini. He said if they don't get parity, they will lose this game. And look at that. Snaps all around. Brilliant from Italy.
That's impressive. You could see as well, the bind was strong. The whole team of Italians are working together. Once you start on the back foot in a game of scrumming, you're hiding to nothing there. With a smile on your face, there's nothing greater than a smile on your face and you push your team back. The Italians are up and in there. This man, to me, is playing an outstanding game at the moment. Castrogiovanni's doing exceptionally well in the scrums, but he's also, for a big fella, he's getting around the loose as well.
It's incredible, really, the longevity of himself and Parise. Castrogiovanni made his debut against Ireland in 2003. He's played in every Six Nations tournament since then, which is an incredible record for a prop forward as well, and one as physical as him. He also likes a try or two. And you wouldn't count against him getting one today, but this is a shot at goal, 1 from 1 so far. Tommaso Allen. It's similar enough to his first attempt, a little bit further back maybe, but on the right side for a right-footed kicker. Didn't strike that one all too well. Just pushed it outside the post, and he still stands at 50% for the Six Nations 2014.
It's a shame, because as a young boy, you take confidence in getting your kicks, but kicks are vital. You need someone that can actually kick, and kick very well, because both teams are very level at the moment. You can see that in the scoreboard. Nearly half an hour played, 3-3. This could go right to the end, and where kicks are vital to see who takes the spoils.
Yeah. The feeling before we went into this one was it was going to be a very tight game. Here comes Sergio Parise. Can he inspire something now for Italy as we approach the half-hour mark? carry from Gelden Rice is a good one. A couple of times he's done that. So he's there for the big man. DeMarchi.
Body shape 7.
Tackled by Lawson.
Yep.
Told to roll out of the way. Giraldini thought about the pass, gave a stupid pass, and now there's a chance to counter here for Scotland. Numbers on the left hand side, shipped on from Scott. Johnny Beattie, was he holding on? He was holding on. The penalty, well, you can say Italy a little bit fortunate there, because a suicidal pass led to the turnover for Scotland. Johnny Beattie, he'd no support, got isolated, held on too long, and the Italians had a chance to clear.
Johnny Beattie did nothing wrong, took the ball in. That's I think where the turnover came from. Loose pass, don't know why it happens, because they were so thorough in the first half. Good offload there from Wilson. Everything going according to plan there. Beattie on the wing, comes in off the wing to allow the support. Sean Lamont, as you could see, was hitting the ground afterwards. Now in some ways you need to get the support runner there. You see it so often, to let the strike runner go in. Support runner has a wee Kit Kat, a wee thing. Too late. Well done to the Italians for winning that.
Giraldini to throw. Italians have sorted out that line out again. It's Zani with the take after early dominance from Scotland. They've managed to get a rhythm going, and they're trying to set a maul here. Ball at the back. Barbieri. Bit of help from Gelden House. Stopped once to Steve Walsh. So Gorey tries to slip the pass, only as far as Garcia. He's been asked to carry up the middle a few times now. The Zebre centre. Italy, though they've lost it. Chance to break here. Laidlaw ships it on to Weir. Duncan Weir, supported the outside. He goes himself. Oh, he lost ground. He had Sean Lamont screaming for that ball, and now Italy come back, and they're over the halfway line.
No clear release, 2 blue.
Ball there for Italy to use. Taken up by DeMarchi. Apologies for the loss of sound there. We're back. And end-to-end stuff. Italians trying to dig that ball back. It's slow though. Up his left and right. They go to Parisi, the captain. McLean. Advantage to Italy. They will have a penalty if nothing else. Steve Walsh blows the whistle, and we could see a talking to, or if not a card here from Steve Walsh. He's reaching for his pocket.
Yeah, he is. Not sure what for or who's in trouble here.
Okay, you got a great
Someone
steal by
looks like
7 in this last ruck down here, but your guys are going past the ball, hands on the ground, coming back. That is not a picture that is acceptable. They must go straight on the ball. Okay?
So just a penalty, but I mean, we go back to that ball on the outside from Weir. He didn't give the pass, and then the turnover ball.
That was a bit unfortunate.
7.
These sort of things happen.
Ball, mate, not past it.
He was trying it. He was trying to force the game a little bit, which was a bit of a shame because he had the support on the outside as we expected him to be there. Italian man was in the way, which is a shame because that could have resulted in a try, but it didn't. But then where it happened, this is an important part as well. Scotland got taken aside there. Captain Laidlaw was spoken to by the referee Walsh, and Scotland better behave themselves, because if not they could find themselves a player down, and in this environment at the moment they do say that's a 7 to 10 point difference.
Yeah, especially with 10 minutes to go before half-time as well. I'm sure Craig Laidlaw keen to impress whatever advice he got from Steve Walsh on his team. 1 from 2 so far, Tommaso Allen. This to bring his international tally to 30 points. Didn't get a hold of the last one. It's a better strike this time, and the reaction will tell you everything you need to know. Italy are in front by 6 points to 3.
Well done there to Allen. Onside deserves that. Italian are probably playing a better percentage game in the sort of second half of the first half we have here. The second 20 of it. They're more professional, they're more thorough, they're taking the ball up in speed, they're keeping a hold of the ball. Scotland just have to stop making the mistakes, but if not, if Allen keeps slotting the penalties like this, they'll keep slowly getting in front. 354
minutes in Scotland's last international try is a pretty depressing statistic.
Hugh or Kelts, we've got to stick together, big fella. Don't worry about stats. Come on, let's move on. We're going to break that today.
All there for the Italians, and Allen straight down the middle. Well, it was more of just a snap really, but Stuart Hogg perfectly placed. And the fancies a go here. A couple of players in front of him. Castrogiovanni made the first hit on the leg. He couldn't stop him, but Josh Ferner was there to lend support there for Weir to use. Wilson carries it into Parise. He goes off his feet and has to leave it. Hogg standing a fly half. Again, awkward ball for Lamont to deal with. Just juggled with that at the second time, and every second counts in international rugby. Hogg, another big boot from him. Well, wasn't the most confidence-inspiring attempt to catch there from Leonardo Sarto. And safety of the touchline from Tommaso Allen.
Safety in the touchline to gather breath a little bit, just to see where we all are. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Scotland again just look a wee bit edgy, a wee bit fragile when they're taking the ball up. Look like they're kind of running out of ideas of what to do, who's taking up, who's doing what. Possession, not that much difference to be fair in the first half that we see, and it kind of reflects on the score at the moment.
Lawson to Richie Gray, ball off the top. It's been a tactic they've used with great effect. Scott trying to burst through, almost got through as well. Allen, weak tackle, his play, and Scotland come again. On the outside there, Alex Dunbar. Campagnaro told to leave it. There for Weir. Wilson carries again. Taken down this time by Esposito. Back for Laidlaw. Johnny Beattie this time to carry. Laidlaw once more to Duncan Weir. Richie Gray. Right on that 22-metre line, Scotland left to right they go, waiting for the holes to appear. So far the Italian defence has stood up, and that's another good tackle.
Captain.
But back for Laidlaw to use. Weir once more, ball in behind to Scott. Little step there from Dunbar. Just the pass wasn't in front of him, so took the momentum out. Laidlaw again slow to come back from him. Lawson tackled by Ferner. Hamilton to support. Back for the Scotland scrum half. Taken up this time by Ryan Grant. And again Scotland going side to side, making a couple of metres, but no gaps so far in that Italian defence. Lamont to Hamilton. Hogg, any room for him? Dancing feet, Italy trying to intercept it, go forward, it did. And the Scottish attack comes to nothing. Italy get the scrum and another chance to clear. It's side to side, but not a huge amount of penetration.
No, there's not huge, but what it is, it's side to side. They've kept the ball, they've kept a hold of the ball. They're showing a bit of professionalism within that, sort of without sort of a bit of patience, I mean, as well. And he's just trying maybe too much, Hogg, at the moment. Ball in one hand again. Tries to get it off to Weir, not on. Again, why try and force that area? Because it's the first time they've been in Italian 22 for a while.
It has. They only spent 3% of their last match in the opposition 22. I can't remember the last time they were in there. Certainly not with ball in hand. Whatever about kicks into the 22. When you see Ryan Grant getting back on his feet there, looks okay. The Glasgow prop forward.
Because this is, I think, the frustration side coming in to watch the Scotland side, Scotland supporters and other supporters around the world when they see them. They say, well, they can match. The lineouts have certainly improved from last week or the last game we played. Scrumming hasn't, but up against a very strong Italian side. It's just these little errors at the end of maybe 3 or 4 phases or before, knock-ons coming in from the side that just shouldn't be involved in a tactics at this level.
Dino Di Mameli ringing out around the Stadio Olimpico. The fans trying to get something going for the home team here. They lead by 3 points, just a couple of penalties and one from Laidlaw reply for Scotland. Hasn't been a classic by any means, but you know what? It's a real attritional battle out there, and I think both teams afraid to lose this game because it would spell disaster, and most likely the wooden spoon just going on form so far. Campagnaro makes the tackle on Hogg. Sarto comes in to help out. Now Dunbar got to release that ball. He doesn't release it on the ground. We can see it. We have the perfect angle here in front of us. Held on for too long. I wonder, is this within Tommaso Allen's range? It might be just on the limit of it.
certain in his powers to give it a go anyway, to put the pressure onto Scotland. But we talked about this here in the first half. It's all about supporting the man with the ball. If we get a replay here, you'll see that Dunbar's taking the ball in. The supporting runners were just standing about. Or was it Hogg that took it in? There we go, Dunbar taking it in now. How long does it take to actually get in there? Tommy Seymour should have been straight into that ball.
Absolutely, and that's what I mentioned about Fusaro and the responsibility for him on the deck. He seems to be probably the only one who is making that kind of effort to scrounge for ball on the ground, and that's the couple of wingers as well for Scotland. Lamont on that far side and Seymour here, they just haven't gone in when they've needed to.
No, they haven't, and it shows how the tables turned, to show the confidence of the Italians willing to take a line out.
Furno as well, bashes through the first one, needs to stay in field. Well, they probably should have come back inside because he had plenty of support. Good tackle by the Scottish defence to keep him out, but as you said, I mean, Allen didn't even consider going for the sticks there. I know Garcia would have certainly had the range for that, but they wanted to take the line out.
It's a good move. Got behind them. He should have. See, the touch judge here was in a bit of dilemma what to do there, but yeah, it's a bit of a strange decision. He'll be knowing that. He'll be kicking that as well, because that was great running, getting behind the first line of defence, getting behind the line out of Scotland. He should have possibly come in off the touch line, set it up, then the backs could have done and worked their magic.
Bit of attention to Richie Gray. He's back on his feet. Looks to be all right. But here was the line out, setting up that little break chance for Furno. Thought he could go through from Tommy Seymour.
Big line out here from Scotland to win.
Yeah, a bad time to miss your first throw. Henley, I'm sure, will contest this one. It goes to the back. Dangerous ball. Well, you have to admire his bravery, if you like, there. There's another word for it, but bravery, I suppose, is the PC. Ball at the back again. And you see Fusaro just, well, taken in, not used, says Steve Walsh. It looked like it was there. You saw Fusaro having to use the leg just to try and get it back, but it was too slow. And with 2 minutes to go, last attacking chance for Italy before the half-time whistle.
All the ball has to come out.
Yeah, it's these little things, Hugh, just makes it quite frustrating for the sort of watching Scottish public. Little things, but nice to see that Scott Lawson was in here for his line-out throw-in. Great confidence right on your goal line to throw it as far, but I think the referee, Steve Walsh, was saying it was a collapsed maul, hence scrum down. Italian ball in a very good, promising attacking position as well.
Well, Luke McLean standing right on the outside.
Feet underneath you.
See Leonardo Sartos come off his wing to take his place in behind Tommy Allen.
But just before that shot came on there, you could see the different packs, the body language. Scotland are taking a very long time to get down into position. Perezzi in the back row are really encouraging the Italians to get into this scrum.
Set.
Here's Parisi, Sergio Parisi trying to break the tackle. Weir did well to hang on to him. Jeff Cross in for Murray Lowe into that Scottish front row as the Italians go for the line over. It must be a try. The crowd thinks so. Referee Steve Walsh says yes. He consulted his touch judge. I think it's Tommy Allen who's got the touchdown. Is it his second try in an Italian jersey? It is for the fly half. Well, Steve Walsh had a look at his assistant referee, and it is Tommy Allen who gets the plaudits. Look what it means to him. His second try in 6 games for Italy, and what a time. We mentioned it might come. Donny Weir, you're not happy, but this was execution. Brilliant from Italy.
I'm delighted for Italians. This is rugby. See, Parisi here, very professional. Didn't throw it. Scott so far have thrown out that tackle and knew what was on and knew what he had to do. Kept a hold of the ball. Great play there as well from the second row of Furno. Great offload as well. Tommy Allen on the shoulder. He deserves it, I must admit, but that was all taken from a very dominant scrum. Parisi taking it up round the corner. The Scottish back row was slow, which meant that Duncan Weir had to go and get the ball. Not the best of time to lose it.
Of Italy's points so far, 13-3 they lead. Jack Brunel by far the happier of the two coaches, you have to say. Scott Johnson before this game said not even victory will cure the problems within Scottish rugby. He wants consistency. He doesn't want to settle for peaks and troughs, but I mean, at the very least now, he wants a win here today, and he wants his players to react to what's happened in the first half. Doddy, how do they go about doing that?
Boy, that's a big question to try and answer. But
In
just go
no
back.
less than 100 words.
Well, going back to Scott Johnson consistently, he's changed the team on every occasion, which sometimes is a need, but then there's some areas of change which a lot of the supporters don't understand. Now, if we don't understand it, sometimes the players might not do that, so that doesn't help with the way they play. But Scotland just need to get stuck in amongst them. That's where they play, the pride and the passion of old, to get on, get the ball up the jersey, give the Italians no time on the ball, and then they've got a chance. Don't give away some silly penalties and indiscipline.
He angered an awful lot of Scottish rugby fans with the decision to drop Kelly Brown after the first game when he asked him to play at open side, and Kelly Brown almost his entire career has played at 6. And then David Denton, who was the top ball carrier for Scotland in the first game, certainly didn't disgrace himself, if a lot of the players did against England. So he just struggled to work out, I suppose, what Scott Johnson is thinking, and so far the team selection he's picked for Rome hasn't really worked, and a big tackle went in on Campagnaro there. Well, that's gonna light the covers, if you like, and look at Sean Lamont. He gets back up and chases after that one as Campagnaro gingerly gets to his feet and back into play. But that's what you want.
Yeah, especially from Sean Lamont, not known for that. That was a great hit, get in there, and you can see the spark when he got up. He shouldn't be the one that's actually chasing. This is a disappointing there. Textbook tackle straight in, ball went down, chip forward. Now Sean Lamont's on the ground there, he was the first to the receiver. Now that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
The whole team should be working each other and helping each other and having that sort of real bite, I want to be first there, and that's missing at the moment from the Scots.
It is actually, that's exactly the impression you got after 40 minutes. That just the work rate wasn't up to scratch, and a couple of times they got turned over and they shouldn't have. Hamilton again, clean ball. They haven't lost one single line out. That's a positive at least for Scotland. There for Laidlaw again to use the big Richie Gray. Tries to go through the Italian defenders, who have to roll away, and they're a little bit slow to do so. That's why the ball is slow coming back for Laidlaw. You can see the white shorts on the ground. I think it's Castrogiovanni who's all over that ball, but Steve Walsh happy to let play continue. Looking for runners, Laidlaw. Ryan Grant takes a hit.
Yeah, good.
Back for Duncan Weir. Top off to Matt Scott, who runs again into a wall of white jerseys. And they work the right hand side now. This is Duncan Weir. Cross field from him. Big tackle goes in. Possession retained though. Wilson this time. Barbieri tries to go in and steal that ball. Has he done it? He has, I think. Eduardo Gorey says he can see it now. He has to leave it. But they get the scrum. Well, Barbieri did really, really well there. I wonder, did he manage to steal possession? It was too slow coming back. Wilson and Lamont look frustrated, but Steve Walsh has given a decision.
They've only got themselves to blame, because you can see the ball carrier so often going in too upright. They do say in the old Scottish saying, if you're too high, you die. You've got to get low, you've got to protect that ball. If you're standing upright into tackle, you've got a massive kind of area for them to defend against. And Barbieri, as you mentioned, straight in on that ball, resulting in an Italian scrum, but all because of the ball presentation and possibly the urgency of the Scots is not there, and something needs to give, and whether it could be a change of possibly bringing Denton on is maybe what's required at this stage.
Yeah, just looking at the bench, you have Chris Cussiter there, Max Evans, Dave Denton.
Bind!
But the big question is, you put Cussiter on, your captain goes off. But Cussiter's been captain many a time, and I think that could be a good change, because he's a sniper.
Yeah, he is.
He's more than an out-and-out scrum half, I'm afraid, and I think he'll enjoy these conditions, and they certainly should look to bring him on.
Well, just see Denton warming up there on the sideline. I think it'll certainly be a popular decision to bring him in. And as I said, probably should have started this game, but plenty of time left to make an impression. 13-3, the gap only 10, a couple of scores in it. Gorey with the feed, Scotland trying to put pressure, but the scrum went against them completely in the first half. Well, have Italy lost that ball? It looks like they have. It's gone through, and a chance to counter here. Matt Scott takes it up the middle, tackled by Parise. Has to leave it go for Laidlaw. Ryan Grant gets the pass, but wasn't really on, and loses possession. Penalty off their feet, Italy. Steve Walsh right on the spot.
Not
messy
releasing.
from both teams.
Yep.
Well, the penalty for not releasing on the ground, but it's right in front of the post, and Greg Laidlaw, well, he'll certainly fancy a shot at goal here to try and get 3 points back.
That was a shame, because that was an absolute wonderful pick up there from the marquee. Going in again, lost that in contact, not looking after the ball. Look at that, the way he picked that ball up. But yeah, Scotland for a change in first, and that's what needs to be done from both sides. Get in there, get quick, get a hold of your hands on the ball, because it's allowed. You're allowed to come in from any angle if you're the first man on the scene.
Of course, one of the options, if you wanted to bring Cussiter in, was to push Greg Laidlaw to fly half where he played there before, and take Weir off if he was so inclined. But here's the scrum half, looking to close the gap to 7 points. It's in front of the post. It should be a formality. It is. 13 points to 6. The first points of the second half go to Scotland.
Yep, can't complain about that. The Scots will be very happy with that. There's not really a lot of rugby being played in the second half. All of 6 minutes has been in the sort of centre half. But again, discipline. If the discipline comes into the game, it results in points being scored against. And Scotland, well done for a change, capitalising on a mistake.
Dave Denton takes his seat. He still has the tracksuit top off, so you'd imagine it's just a matter of time before he comes in. And where does he come in? He's an 8 by trade. He can play at 6 as well, so that they keep Johnny Beattie on, who can also switch to blind side. We'll wait and see. The sun causing problems, I think, but Parise kept his eye on that ball, and he did well. Ships the pass away, barely ever loses it in contact. Sergio Parise back for Giraldini, acting as scrum half to Furno, under pressure there from Fusaro. And back to the hooker, who leaves it for Gorey. Worked the blind side off, went forward, advantage to Scotland. They're going to have a scrum.
It looks like the last couple of minutes, Hugh, Scotland have actually stepped up the tempo a little bit. They're actually getting involved in the Italians. They're getting up in the faces, they're making them make mistakes, and that's what they need to do to try and get back into this game. And tactically, that's the only thing they can do until they maybe make some changes. We've talked about a few that have come on. Ross Ford, maybe does he want to come on at the moment because the lineouts are going exceedingly well?
Yeah.
Possibly keep him on, but Denton, yes, he's been playing well, and I always like to see Cussiter on the game because he changes it. He's a runner. He's also a good leader as well.
We were looking at some of the statistics from half-time. Scotland shading it in possession, 53%, but they won't be happy with the amount of penalties they conceded. I think 10 versus 2 for Italy.
That was the big one. That was the big change, and that they can't allow at this sort of level. And the penalties that they give away are kind of silly penalties, coming out the side, going off your feet. They know the rules. Yes, give 1 or 2 because you've got to try the referee. You've got to try and cheat the referee till you get caught, and that's what the game's all about as well. But on a good note as well, lineouts. It was disastrous against England, 6-0, never lost, and they've won a couple of the Italian balls, so that side's going well, but they just need to try and get things together on the sort of penalties and the scrums. But in another note, Italians, they are where they are. They've got a very good, strong side. They've got some youth in the backs, which is nice, and they're possibly building for the future. And we talked about the future, but how is the future when some of these senior players in the front row and maybe back row hang their boots up? What is Italian rugby going to be like that? But at the moment, very good and lovely to watch.
Yeah, but it is a huge question mark when this man retires, and Castrogiovanni as well, as you mentioned. They don't quite have the dynamism to replace them. You saw David Denton there on the bench, getting ready to come in, completing his warm-up. Possibly paid the price for criticising Scotland's performance himself. He kind of came out and said that it wasn't acceptable and it's frustrating to be a part of the Scotland team with it playing like that. Maybe Scott Johnson rap on the knuckles for him. Well, not going to second guess it, but
hopefully not, because honesty is always the best way.
Penalty. Well, first for everything, and this time the penalty in the scrum goes to Scotland. Castrogiovanni smiled and said he looks a bit bemused, but they'll take that.
I think somebody must have been a wee word at Walsh at half-time, because that's 2 scrums that Scotland have won in the second half. They didn't win any in the first half.
Yeah, incredible. Well, Stuart Hogg might fancy a shot here. He's got a boot. Changed his mind. Back towards Duncan Weir. He's going to go up the line. Did have a look though. Conditions are ideal. And Weir finds touch just outside the Italian 22. Again, you know, Italy just looking there at Scotland. They're slow to come into the line. You'd like to see just an injection of pace for somewhere, would you?
Yeah, dude, just to go back to that kick, Duncan Weir, sometimes it's maybe just a forward issue here, Hugh, but I can't see why that ball couldn't be closer to the goal line. The practice week in, week out, now he sent it halfway up the stand. That's the technical and the skill level that I think Scotland need to try and work on to get into this game.
Good drive from Beattie there for Lawson to pick off the ground. Doesn't make much in terms of metres, though. Hamilton looks for the pass to Fusro. He has to go straight to deck, and there for Laidlaw to use. Matt Scott trying to jink his way past the cover. Tackle from Parise, he's slow to roll away. And Weir this time. Alex Dunbar. Two to bring him down, one of them Josh Furno, the other Tommaso Allen. Yellenhuis this time makes the hit. Scotland desperate for a try. Dunbar stuffed in the tackle, no way through there. Laidlaw to Lawson, tries to spin, and he only spins into another Italian defender. Nice pass from Hogg, but Wilson takes it. There's Richie Gray, tried to go through himself. It's 5 on 4. 2 second rows going at it there. Ryan Grant tries to use the elbow to barge his way through, but Scotland retaining possession, still just outside the Italian 22. Scott can't make any ground. Castrogiovanni has put himself about so much making the tackle. Lamont, has he got the strength to burst through? He has, and he makes a couple of metres. Esposito had to come off his wing to lend help there. There's Lawson. Campagnaro tackles, and back for Laidlaw. Better from Scotland, and it's patient stuff as well. Carry this time from Cross. Here is Weir, space on that right-hand side. Hansa might have done it there. There was an overlap on the right. There might still be if it's quick ball from Laidlaw. Here is Weir, little show from him. Tackled though, and well tackled by Sarto. Stops the momentum from Scotland. Roared on by the Italian fans, but still there for the visitors at the Stadio Olimpico. Grant this time, hits the ground. Scott in to protect the ball, and Laidlaw again. Castrogiovanni goes in to try and steal ball. No! Being told to leave it. Laidlaw once more. Here's Wilson. Left and right now options for the scrum half. Hogg back inside. Good pass as well. Seymour coming in. Tackled and rolled away from Zani. Was it allowed to be? It was. That's perfectly legal. Did it go forward there? Advantage to Scotland. It did. The pick from Jeff Cross, and still Scotland have it somehow. An absolute chance on the right hand side for Gray. Frustration from the Italians, I was going to say there, because they thought they had managed to stop the attack, and then Furno couldn't hang on to that ball. Pick and go this time. One of the Scotland players down injured, can't quite see who it is. Play on, the penalty. Whistle goes eventually from Steve Walsh. This is a certain 3 points, and you'd imagine they will take it and put themselves back within a try.
Well done, Hugh. You'll need a wee break after that one. But that's the play they've got to go. It's not going to be an out-and-out special. They're trying hard, but you can see the difference that when they try and change the target, they put the ball inside, coming on at speed.
They've gone quickly over the corner here. Matt Scott. Well, we were all expecting the shot at goal, but no indication. Perfectly allowed to do that. Almost caught Italian sleeping. No time for catching our breath here as Laidlaw surveys his options. He goes blindly, runs to Parisa. He goes left. He has more players. Did that go forward? It did. And they will regret the decision not to take 3 points there. Ludicrous.
I think you'll find a lot of people watching the screen. Yes, it worked. If it worked, it's always a great decision to do. But right in the middle of the field, they've got 3 points to bring it into pretty much a certain 13 to 9 points. Game on, 4 points in it. They're on the front foot at the moment.
I mean, there was Italian cover on that left-hand side. Yep. Stuart Hogg, the player I mentioned, who was down on his feet, and he's back and okay to continue, but that was the knock-on. That meant everything went for disaster, and David Denton is getting ready now to come in. And did I hear Steve Walsh say number 4? Which would mean Richie Gray. That wouldn't make much sense.
Let's find out in a minute. But that was a bizarre thing. We'll see who's coming up.
Do we need to just move in a little bit? Yeah.
It's Fusaro, I think, he's going off. Sure. It is. So Fusaro makes way. which I presume means that Johnny Beattie will go to open side and David Denton will come into the back at number 8.
So they must be looking to play a more open game, Scott Johnson. First of all, as you say, they go unsung, these boys, because they're at the bottom of the ruck, but that was a very bizarre and strange decision from Laidlaw to take that quick penalty on the back of where Scotland got to, where the forwards got to. Now this is the problem that I think they're having with him. He's only got himself to blame.
Solid scrum again for the Italians, and look at this man trying to go, runs into Lamont, who takes Parise high. He won't rip it like that. Ball at the back for Gorey. He's outside the 22, so he can't kick it straight into touch. Wants runners to chase this, and he did the right thing because Denton and Gray were bearing down on him there, and it's a knock-on advantage to Scotland, and a chance here. They've massive numbers right here if they straighten up Lawson. Chance for Scott. Hands are good from Hogg. Beautiful break to the middle. The outside is Dunbar. Alex Dunbar for the corner, and Scotland are in. We have finally got a Scotland international try. It's gone to Alex Dunbar, his second in a Scotland jersey, and it all came from turnover ball. So much better by the visitors, and they're back in this game.
We are back in. Give me the £5 back, young man. We are. And it's lovely. It's lovely to see the confidence in the second half. Just that last passage of play, about 5 minutes here. See, the impetus was here with the Italians. Lost the ball in contact, trying too much, but well done to the Scots here. We didn't think it was going to work because there's that many forwards there, but there was a straight off ball, found the space, the ball to hand, and a great finish, and well done. That's the first try in how long?
I tell you, well, before this game, 323 minutes, so add 54 to that. 379 and 30 seconds since Scotland last scored an international try. That went to Sean Lamont against Japan. It's gone here. Finally, that duck has been broken, and it's gone to Alex Dunbar. You saw Stuart Hogg, as soon as he gave that pass, he put his hands in the air. He knew that Dunbar had the pace to get in. The gap opened up, conversion to come, and this from Laidlaw would tie things up, and all of a sudden Scotland will be back on level terms. Game on, as they say, but it's a difficult conversion attempt. That's left. Ooh. And it's wide.
But it's funny. It's not funny at all. It's strange how the game can change so much. The Italians were coming out, they were on top, now the Scots are on top, but it all shows what happens when you get the ball into space. At the moment, I think the Scots are trying to take the contact on with Italian forwards. They're losing that contact, but when they actually change the strike runners, change the pattern, change the direction, get the ball into space, they can score a try. And that's probably the first time they've done that in so many games.
So much better. Substitution, Max Evans coming in, and good to see him on. Tommy Seymour, the player to make way. His first touch wasn't a great one. Tommy Seymour when he kicked the ball in behind, and since then he hasn't had a lot of ball, mostly defensive duties for Seymour. And Max Evans, that bit more experience, if you like, for his 40th cap.
He's done nothing wrong, but that touch at the brilliant, that's maybe what he was told to do. I don't know about that, but yes, he's had a very solid game and can be very happy the way things have gone.
Ball's got into touch there on that far side, and it'll be a Scotland put into the line out inside their own 22. There's Max Evans.
What Max does bring is another experienced player. I think he's just a wee bit zippier. He comes off his feet very well, and he's just got that wee bit more directional. Not sure about the defensive side of things, but I think what Johnson's trying to do is put this attacking game together.
Decent take from Ryan Wilson. Laidlaw gets it clear, and Italy will have to put into the line out. Heard Max talking about his brother Tom, of course, who doesn't play anymore. He said he was he's in good form at the moment, but he was so lucky not to be paralysed when that injury that stopped him to force him to stop playing, I should say. I think he was going out with Kelly Brook at the time, though, so I didn't feel too sorry for him.
I wasn't sure if we're allowed to mention that, but there's something good comes about these things, you know.
Every cloud, every cloud.
Yep, well done.
Ball at the back there. It's messy though from Italy. Well, the line-out has been brilliant for them in the last kind of 25 minutes or so after a poor start, but that was back to how they started the game. Stop. That gone out in the full? I think it has. No, it's another mistake, and Stuart Hogg won't be happy with that.
You see it sometimes with just the changes that have happened. There's nothing really going on with the Italian side there. That's a great line out. That's a great throw as well. there's a hand just came in at the back there, which is important. That sort of disruption is vital for any sort of team. But Evans is on, Denton's on, and it was Denton that threw that loose pass to the centre.
A couple of players warming up for the Italians, I think both in the front row, maybe Ghiazzon and Matias Aguero to come in. It's ball for them to use now through the middle. The pass from Campagnaro, well, it went forward, no doubt about it. The crowd again on their feet, but they haven't heard the whistle, and he spikes it into the dirt. He's a player, again, you mentioned him at the start, how exciting a prospect he is, but he's barely had any ball in space, and we know what damage he can do. We saw it against Wales, but on that occasion the ball went forward.
It is, it's unfortunate, because this is where the Towns are good, getting into space again, but it's all about the way that the pass has gone too hard in some way. It's about that sort of little bit of skill that needs to come into the game, that little bit of action. Don't fire that pass as hard as Forrest had, the ball would have gone to hand, and then who knows what would have happened, but it didn't. Knock on, and the changes have maybe come at a good time for the Towns as well, because they've just lacked that little bit of composure in the last 10 minutes.
Castrogiovanni leaves the field as the joint most international Italian cap, and I'm sure it's been happy with his lot today. He's put himself about really, really well, Castrogiovanni.
You're very impressed with the ball. You can see the size of him. He's been around the field. He's done extremely well. The scrums have been outstanding when he's been on, and it maybe is a good time because he's getting on in years, and it maybe needs a fresh pair of legs.
So Ghiazzon, Aguero, and Cittadini comes in. Alan Quinlan struggles with that name, I can tell you. First time he was told to pronounce it, well, he offended a few people. Let's just call it at that. And not a bad kick as well. Brings the line out on that far side for Italy, just outside their own 22. Another substitution getting ready to come in. Alistair Dickinson for his 33rd cap, the Edinburgh front row forward. So that'll be Ryan Grant to go off. Loosehead for Loosehead in that front row.
Sometimes a very strenuous period of the game when all these changes are made. You just don't know how it's going to react. The boys coming on, are they going to be really want to get in and give away the penalties, or are they maybe not quite up to the speed of things?
First throw from Ghiazzon is a good one. It goes to his captain. Eduardo Gori. And the penalty against Johnny Beattie coming in from the side, according to Steve Walsh. And it's an easy let-off for Italy there. They'll get the penalty, they'll get to go to touch, and they will get the put into the line-out.
He's questioning that, and I can understand why, because he looked like he was a sort of tackler at the bottom of the ruck. But anyway, got to do what the referee says.
More substitutions been lined up. To see Paul Derbyshire kitted off. Tobias Boats as well for Italy to come in at scrum half, the Treviso player. And there we see again Johnny Beattie there at number 8. The judge to be coming in from the wrong side. I think a little help from the touch judge there for Steve Walsh. Ghiazzon the throw. Josh Furno takes again. It wasn't plan A, but it's come back into the safe hands of Robert Barbieri. Carry this time from Ghiazzon. Back for his scrum half. Options left and right for Gori. Well, Tommaso Allen struggled to hold that. He was put on his back by Richie Gray. Good tackle by the Scottish lock. Told to leave it, Jeff Cross. And Parise ships it on as far as Matias Aguero. Control again from Stade Francais number 8. Impatient stuff from the Italians. I'm sure just eager to hang on to that ball for a while, because Scotland have clawed their way back into this game and been dominating possession over the last 10 minutes. Little pass outside to Campagnaro. Needs help though, he's isolated. See Hamilton getting over that ball, but it comes back on the Italian side, and the Garrone launched into the air. Here's Hogg, fancies a little step, and the pass as well. Good one to Dunbar, the try scorer. Lawson missed out as far as Beattie. Ball in behind to Weir. Boot to ball now. The chase is on for this one. Luke McLean's going to have to come across. I think it will bounce into touch. No, it won't. Dangerous stuff. McLean needs help here. Little pop pass. He did eventually get it in front of Zani, but he's under pressure now. That's brilliant stuff by Scotland. They pile through. Can they get possession? No, they can't. Ghiazzon in the right place at the right time. And the home crowd breathe a heavy sigh of relief there. Parise, anybody's game, 90 minutes left to play in Rome. And two teams looking for their first victory in the 2014 RBS Six Nations will have a line out to Scotland.
You say great stuff, Hugh, and I agree with you in some ways, but not in others, because that's part of the game. This is the way that the Scots and Italians should be playing. They should be chasing everything. This should be the meaning of the game of rugby up there, and we've not seen too much of that. We've not seen that sort of, certainly not from Scotland. The Italians have lost a wee bit composure of late. They just need to get things together and set up some set pieces where it was working. And it's a sign that not a lot's going on when the number 10s, both standoffs are kicking there. But there, it's a good chase, and it should be. This is what Evans has done. This is his speed. So well done for him to catch a hold there. But also there were support runners as well, which is always nice to see.
Duncan Weir to Denton, chopped down to the legs, gets that ball back. Richie Gray, held up by Campagnaro, eventually goes to ground. And back towards Denton.
White!
Laidlaw. Duncan Weir. Nice hands from Scott. Tries to release Dunbar. And the centres, well, they've grown in confidence, haven't they? Especially in the second half. Laidlaw once more, looking for runners. Lawson makes himself available. Tackled by Giatson. And Weir once more. Little top pass from him. Quick ball needed. And they go left again. Matt Scott puts it back as far as Lamont. Barbieri makes the hit, tries to go down on the ball, but it's still there for Hamilton to use. Pick and go with a big lock. And Scotland now bunched pretty tight to the right hand side. Cross hits the deck. Laidlaw once more, deep as Weir. Needs to create some space for himself, and he does so before being dumped on the ground. Leonardo Sarto making the tackle.
Use it!
Richie Gray can't get the hands free. Tommaso Allen.
Use it!
Well, decent tackle by the out half there. Been told to use it. Italy piled through. Have they got their hands on it? Well, they got possession, they got the scrum.
You might well hear in the footage there that the Italian crowd are very happy with that. The Scots shouldn't be. It's just little things, trying to pass the ball too deep. Why do that? You put yourself under pressure. Also, I think the ball went to Jeff Cross standing still. Just little things like that. They just cannot put. The referee said on this occasion that he's got to use it, which means the ball's out. Italians reacting first, and it's an area of reaction within the game. If you do that, this is what results on. Scotland had quite a large phase of the possession there. Nothing came about of it because the reactions were a wee bit slow at the end.
Tobias Butts comes in, Paul Derbyshire as well. And Chris Cussiter has come in place of Greg Laidlaw. So, you know, as you mentioned, so much experience. His 67th cap today, Glasgow scrum half. He could add that bit of injection that Scotland need.
Definitely, Hugh, yeah. It's a funny way time has gone, but I used to play rugby with Chris. No,
really?
Yeah.
Well,
Top Molly knows. No, but Nevada, lovely player. Great, silky, smooth player, great runner, and he's a great motivator as well. Gets the forwards in front of him, he understands the game as well, which just maybe that little bit sharper than Laidlaw, but Laidlaw's a need, or has been a need in the past because of his kicking. And at the moment, I don't know who will go into kick duty, but Cussiter, I think, will certainly make a difference.
Sit.
Well, of course, yeah, Stuart Hogg has taken a few kicks in his time. And
early push.
Duncan Weir has kicked for Glasgow as well. Big tap and go, early push against Scotland. Was that one out in the full? No, or was it? Mark called by Stuart Hogg. And the right thing as well, because another step and he was out.
Just here, come. Yep, oh, close.
Another spiral kick from Hogg. How much has he got out of it? Well, play to the halfway line. I think he'll take that. Very tight angle to work with.
Good kick, good play, good thinking there.
Hit and chase. You can't squeeze, pardon me. Okay.
Yep, plenty of time. That's clever thinking, good aware, good skills to catch it, have a look where you are, and also not only that, the kick away from the 22 was an outstanding effort as well.
Slap back on the Italian side, and Tobias Butts ships it on as far as Josh Furno. Setting himself with a box kick, the scrum half. One of the chasers after this is Derbyshire, but he was just checked there as he went up, but he did well to get a hand to that, and it's come back on the right side as well. Play on, says Steve Walsh. Chance here if they go left. Well, they're going route one up the middle, and they've made another 5 metres. Butts trying to dig that ball out. Needs runners. Oh, Bertolami. Well, advantage O versus Steve Walsh from that knock on, but he'll be furious with himself.
Won't be happy with that, but what'll be interesting to see how quick it takes here to do if Butts does another kick, because that worked out exceedingly well. Got his runners up in front, protectors there. Allen was involved, quick ball. Bertolami.
I think my mistake was Cittadini, who dropped it, my mistake. But just took his eye off it, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Yeah. When you get your hands to it, you say you could catch it, but yeah, great line out.
Great take as well from Furno. Look at that, went forward. Pats in the back all round from Scotland. You get the feeling the next score could decide this game. It's been that tight.
Very much so. It is that tight at the moment, but this is where they lost a little bit of composure there at the moment. Italians not doing the little knock-ons that they had in the first half, but just with the changes, Cittadini in and what have you, these little unforced errors, and they're beginning to shout at each other now. They didn't do that in the first half either. Let's see if they can get things together and start playing rugby that we know they can play.
Crouch. 20. Bind. Set.
Steve Walsh happy with the hit. Better scrum from Scotland. Looks like the substitutions have made a bit of a difference on both teams, really. Here's Lamont trying to burst his way through. Oh, the lovely offload, and the ball to Custer there now. Chance for Dunbar. Alex Dunbar. Dunbar still going. Has he got the pace to go all the way? Dunbar's over. Oh, we're going to go back. We're going to go back. He thinks it might have been forward.
You're in the frame. Yes, I'm going to. I'm checking forward pass.
We're going to check for the forward pass.
Jeff.
Well, Alex Dunbar and the Scotland fans think they have the second try. We'll have to go back though.
And then the offload, forward pass. Can you just check those two for me,
Jeff
please?
Warren being asked to check for a forward pass from Steve Walsh.
Back, I'm quite away.
My first impression,
Possible obstruction,
from our angle it looked okay.
Forward pass.
Possible obstruction as well,
please.
Doddy. And so 2 things to check here before the try is given. We'll see it again. All made from the break originally by Sean Lamont. His strength to get over past the defender, and the beautiful offload. In came Cussiter, and here was the pass to Dunbar, but look at the pace.
That looks okay to me there.
But this one, it should be all right.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, I've seen enough to make a decision.
Oh, there. Was that forward?
This part's okay. There's no harm in this one because he was tackled, but he wasn't held.
You've seen those given and you've seen them not given. It's all the interpretation of Walsh and Jeff Warren.
Yeah, it's a good. This one here. Just need to see a different angle, or that one there maybe.
Steve, this is Jeff. I have a report. Steve, there was no obstruction, effective obstruction, and no forward pass. You may award the try.
Thank you, mate.
No forward pass, no obstruction, and Scotland go ahead for the first time in this game. It's the second try for Alex Dunbar. He had so much work to do. Brilliant pace again, and the conversion to come, it should be another 2 points. And all of a sudden, Scotland are in control.
This is what we mentioned at the beginning of the programme. Unpredictable. They have it in their armour if they want. The Italians have just gone to sleep for some strange reason. I don't know why, because they've not changed that many personnel, but the Scots, in fairness, with the changes that have been made, you can see the bench has got a wee bit of a smile on, but there's still a long way to go before the end of the game. But it's just lovely to see the impetus. Dunbar, Scott playing well in the centre, and long may that continue.
Well,
2 tries in 1 game. When's the last time that happened for a Scottish rugby team?
if we'd had a few quid on that, we'd be millionaires, I think. In comes Luciano Orquera, the Zebre fly half, in place of Tommaso Allen. Now, Orquera, he's small, but he loves to run, loves the gap, and he could be exactly what Italy need now to try and get some go-forward momentum and get them back in front here, because they trail by 5 points and they need to try to draw level. And they might have a chance to get something going here. Garcia, little grubber kick through. Dangerous one. Stuart Hogg goes back. Well, I didn't carry that over, so it should be a 22-metre dropout. It is. And with 11.5 minutes left to play, and a game as tight as this, should he have held on to that ball?
Well, possibly not, because it was a lovely weighted. It was a great skill here. It was just maybe 1 yard if you're going to be too far. You see, there's a try line there, and it's right down on top of him there. So, but there is maybe that thought of held it on, get the phases, get the points to be back in the game again. But the whole intensity of the stadium's raised that a little bit after that Scotland try.
The atmosphere is back at the Stadio Olimpico. Italy with possession, almost the intercept there. Cittadini. Tackled by Jeff Cross, 18 on 18. Here is Orquera, trying to get through the gap as Luke McLean needs support on the outside, gets it from Sarto. Leonardo Sarto trying to burst through, still going, the big winger. Oh, look at that for strength, but the tackling from Scotland all over the place, and they're allowing Italy to run at them. McLean needs hands for Furno. Josh Furno staying in field, did well the second row, and back for Butts. We have our finish in Rome. And the intensity in this game has picked up in the last 10 minutes or so. There now for Campagnaro. Has to go to ground. 2 Scotland players, 3 in front of them. One of them, Johnny Beattie, who's got to roll away. Butts wants ball at the back, but it's gone loose. They've got a penalty, Italy, and it's in front of the posts. But they don't want to take 3. They want 5, and they've an overlap here. Chance now for Rise, and he has it to Furno. Try for Italy. Joshua Furno, on his 16th cap, gets his first try, and what a time to do it.
You can hear what it means here in the stadium. Electrifying. It brings up the most exciting last 10 minutes.
Oh, what a piece of skill from Italy. They spotted the gap was on. There was numbers here. Beautiful pass from Parise.
Yeah, you would have thought Parise would have gone for that, but that's the way that the man is. Yes, Furno, he's played well all day. He's been a front runner. But it all comes from the composure right in the centre. Win ball, quick ball. Scotland, I think, thought that possibly the Italians were going to take the penalty kick. They came back off the defensive mode. Didn't play advantage how they should have done on try time. Brings it a very interesting. This is a big kick.
Oh, it's an nail biter, isn't it? And it's Orquera who's taken. He's only just on the field, but you know what? 2 touches of the ball for him, and he was at the centre of everything that was good about that Italian attack. The Zebre fly half. Here he is, attempting to put Italy in front with, well, there'll be almost 8 minutes left to play. But what a time for Furno to get his first international try. The Biarritz lock, and this from Orquera. In as tight a game as this, it's a massive kick. Silence at the Stadio Olimpico. $119 points for Italy so far. Make that 121. Luciano Orquera kicks Italy in front on his 39th cap. And look what it means to the crowd here in Rome. Brilliant atmosphere, but Scotland, they're only trailed by 2. They are not dead yet.
Fantastic kick there by Orquera, no pressure on. quite close to the 5-yard line. Hugh, sometimes I think they should maybe get rid of the first 70 minutes of rugby. And let's just bring it in the last 10 minutes to go, because it's going to be exciting. It's exciting now what's just happened. 2 points in it. Tries from both sides. The game on.
A couple of substitutions. I see Tommaso Iannone coming in. Well, he can play at 10 and he can play on the wing. I guarantee you they're not going to take Luciano Arquero off. We'll have to wait for a couple of minutes for that substitution. So he's going to go on to one of the wings. And the try scorer, Furno, who has been busy and everywhere really for Italy, one of the standout players. And he certainly deserved his try. But Scotland now need points. Any points will do. But did he run into his own man there? No, says Steve Walsh. Play on. Back into the safety of his pack, and I'm sure they want to get this one clear. Arquera still going. Parise, did he drop it? He did. Advantage of Scotland. Scrum, I think, for the first defence, which was the knock-on. And Italy now, well, after early dominance in the scrum, Scotland have gained parity there, but the home side will try and put as much pressure on this as they can.
They certainly will. That's an enforced error there from Parise. Just minutes before, actually, he was getting his calf muscle rubbed, so I think it's a bit tight, but this is an area of the tackle I think you'll see maybe more of. Instead of one man knocking the tackler back, which should happen, I think the second man goes in and tries to rip the ball away. And what happened in that last one, Parise, resulting in a knock-on. So it puts the advantage back on the Scots.
102nd international cap for that man. 33 years of age now, Marco Bortolami.
Crouch. Bind.
But you feel Scotland have to win this scrum, and Italy will do everything they can to disrupt possession. Cussiter with the feed, gets the nod from Walsh. The hook is good. Ball at the back again from Denton, who gives the pass. It's a wayward pass to Cussiter. Disrupts the momentum, but look at that. He did well just to secure possession. In goes Sean Lamont to act as scrum half. Tackled by Gelden House, who's still on the field. Along with Furno. Zani went off, so imagine Furno might go to the back row here. We're trying to get something going. Here's Lamont. Runs into Luciano Arquera. Cussiter to Beattie. We're calling for it on the right hand side. He's got Denton outside. It misses him though. And taken up by Alistair Dickinson. Nice hands. Richie Gray. Max Evans to go in and secure possession. Back for Cussiter. We've got just over 5 minutes left to play. Any points, any penalty, drop goal will do for Scotland. They got ball and possession, that's the main thing, and a chance to break here. Oh, if that pass had gone to Huggy, he was in. Still alive though, Lamont. Dangerous running. It was Matt Scott who got the hands free. He looked for the run on the outside, and here he is again. McLean makes the tackle. Energy sapping stuff. Weir, ball in behind, keeping it deep. The float on the outside now. Here's Richie Gray. He's on the wing. How much pace has he got? Well, a pass to nobody, but it stayed in. No, the flag is up. The flag has gone up on the far side, and Richie Gray, well, he's furious with himself. You can see the frustration. Scotland desperate to hang on to possession. 5 minutes to go.
I think Scotland were lucky just before that when Matt Scott took it in. It looked like it was a knock-on. Oh, that sort of stuff's not going to work at this time of the game. Let's just play percentage rugby.
Confirmation here from the stadium announcement that Josh Furno has got the Man of the Match award. I think that's deserved. He's been really, really good today.
Very well deserved, without a shadow of a doubt. He's been around the field, he's tidied up loose balls, he's been good on the line out. He also played a big part in the scrums as well and scored a try, so well deserved.
Knock-on advantage to Italy though. Well, he could be man of the match on a losing team if Scotland get any more points, because they still have possession. Little chip from Duncan Weir. Was advantage over? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We'll go back for the scrum. And Duncan Weir, well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he knew that, even if I didn't.
Well done to you. I didn't see that either. Okay. And I was just thinking, why is he kicking possession away with it so close to the end of the game? As you mentioned, a drop goal, a penalty can take the spoils away for the home crowd. So close.
Well, he was on the books at Celtic a good few years ago, Duncan Weir, so we know he can strike a ball. He has place kick for Glasgow and indeed for Scotland, so you just wonder though, the nerves. I suppose he's played all his nerves out of him at this stage. If you're going to take your chance, you take it. And they have possession and they have a scrum. Big finish in Rome. Two sides desperate for victory. The loser here will be rooted at the bottom of the table. You get the feeling they can't draw now because any score would push Scotland ahead. The gap just 2. Steve Walsh having a word with the front rows here.
Hugh, there could be a draw. If both decide to score, one converts it and one doesn't.
Have we got time for that?
Of course we have.
The eternal optimist.
Well, we've got to look at it a bit. I don't think we have.
Tighter you're going in, okay? Yes, sir. You're not pre-engaging. Yes, sir.
You can actually feel the tension sitting up here in the commentary box. I don't think Scotland have been as close, let's see, with the senior players they brought on, if they can actually try and seal this game, because the ball is in their hands at the moment.
I saw Ian McGeegan down in the television press area early on. I asked him what he thought. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders and gave a wry smile. Didn't say too much, but it didn't seem overly confident. But Scotland, I mean, they had the lead. They'll feel that this one would have slipped away if they cannot get a score before the 80 minutes are up. Lawson has been a marked improvement in the Scottish line out.
Use it!
And you'll have to give him huge credit for that. Cussiter, experience now, is going to tell. And he's directing things. Ball at the back for Evans to plant. How close does Duncan Weir need to be to have a drop goal? He's standing right behind this, but he wants another carry. He's talking to his scrum half. Still out of range. You feel they need to carry another 5-6 metres for him to have a go.
He's in the pocket though.
He is, he's staying there as well. He wants another effort, does he? Cussiter asking his pack for one more carry. Duncan Weir, will they get the scrum? Now this is interesting. Do they go for a drop goal straight off this? Or do they ask Denton to make a few metres? Oh, it's a fascinating finish. And Italy, well, they're almost dead on their feet. It's been just one of those games. It's, as we mentioned before, by no means a classic, but both teams giving it everything and physical hits going in. Huge effort from both sides.
Yeah, frustrating at times, but absolutely delirious at other times. It's been spontaneous, it's been lovely, there's been tries scored, it's got a bit of everything they've wanted, and also there's been a bit of disappointment as well with some teams, and both teams are very level. You saw that maybe at the starts at half time, and it shows in the score at the moment. And the big call is, does Weir, it looks like Hoggs actually stepped up to the plate there. He's in the pocket. Are they going to do it off the scrum? Are they going to take it up? Decision time. We can't do that. They've got to make the decision on the field.
Interesting looking at the Scottish back, and as you said, Stuart Hogg right behind the scrum. Weir standing to the left. He's got Matt Scott outside him. Sean Leman standing right behind the fullback. So what are they going to do here? Do they want to get closer for the drop goal territory? Well, look at that for a scrum. What a time. If they get a penalty here, it's gone out. The ball's gone out. We won't have a penalty. Well, I thought for a minute, well, what a time for the Scottish scrum to get their act together and win a penalty.
It looked like they might have lost the ball in that scrum, but they haven't. No, it was good reaction by forward.
Now we are standing right behind. He's in the pocket, and Stuart Hogg has gone to the right. Do they need to get closer? They've only got 30 seconds. They've got to pick their moment. This could be it. Chance for the drop goal. Duncan Weir to win it for Scotland. He's got the distance. Has he got it? Has he got it? Yes, he has! Duncan Weir has won it for Scotland. Incredible. Well, who would have thought it? The Italians can't believe it. He can't believe it. They've got to get their hands on this ball. Wasted no time. Parise leads the charge. Scotland haven't. We've gone to 80 minutes. They've got to put it into anywhere.
Captain hands!
Incredible finish at the Stadio Olimpico. Ball is back. Thumped into the stands. And the Scottish supporters are on their feet. The final whistle goes, and Scotland, well, incredible. Donny Weir, how do you feel? Jack Brunel discussing with himself. How do you feel about that?
Very delighted at what